Hi everyone, it's great to be here at Modular Summit. The venue is amazing, and I hope you guys are all enjoying every moment of your time. One of the best things for attending an event like this is to meet great-minded people and highly intelligent people. Um, my name is JayB. I'm one of the co-founders of MilkyWay protocol, and we are the first and largest liquid staking provider for Celestia that launched last December. And today, my talk is about something that we've been envisioning and building towards the modular staking portal that serves both liquid staking and restaking protocols. So I found a liquid staking opportunity sometime last September. Our team is assembled around October, in the beginning of October, and with colleagues from Tendermint, the founding company behind Cosmos, Josie and June, they're co-founders, and we're on this journey together. Our objective was clear: so build the first and the best liquid staking solution for Celestia, and we put our heads down together for 2 months. And we successfully managed to launch our fully audited product on December. For some context, existing liquid staking providers could not support Celestia base layer because it simply isn't compatible. I'm sure some of you from the audience already know about this. Celestia's blockchain, their core value is minimalism. And they don't support execution environment, meaning they don't have smart contract environment, nor what's called the interchain account that Cosmos existing liquid staking providers use at their core. So you might wonder, how do we work around this then? So we came up with our own design called the Auth-Z delegated multi-sig design. It's the design that bypassed the technical constraints of no smart contracts or no interchain account. So if you take a look at the diagram here in the slide, this is basically the demonstrates liquid staking process. So I'm gonna give you a brief explanation about how it works from a user's data flow. So there's a staking contract on Osmosis Layer 1 blockchain, and users liquid stake their TIA into the staking contract, and the contract transfers the deposited TIA back to its base layer, which is Celestia chain, specifically to the multi-sig account that's managed by 7 trusted and reputable operators. And at this point, you might think that multi-sig, it's at the end of the day, it's multi-sig, so it's very risky because there has been many, multiple hacks involved with multi-sig based protocol in the past, right? But our design is significantly reduced the risk of getting hacked because we leverage the native Cosmos SDK module called Auth-Z module. So basically, what this module does is to allow granting a set of permissions from one account to the other. So multi-sig key holders don't really need to sign transactions on a day-to-day basis. I'm not going to go explain the details of how it works at a technical level. There's a documentation in our website that has the in-depth technical specifications. So if you feel interested in getting to know more about it, feel free to check it out, or you can ask me, after the talk. So the beauty of this design is, like I said, private, operators, 7 operators, they don't need to expose their private keys to the internet because we use the Auth-Z module to grant a set of permissions to this grantee account, and this grantee account executes transactions on behalf of the multi-sig account. There are more details into the design, but since there's a documentation that has in-depth technical specification, you can read about it if you're interested. So we took the first mover advantage as a liquid staking provider for Celestia, and Thankfully, we received tremendous support from the community, and the TVL grew to over $50 million in the first month, and a number of users continue to grow over time. And we were actually the first Cosmos liquid staking token listed in Ethereum world as well. And our LST is usable across 15 plus dApps and DeFi protocols. And it can be usable as a sequencer fee as well. And we have a great partnerships established with Manisha, Barachain, and Movement, and all these like promising L1s that are going to launch mainnet soon. And there are more promising projects that we're in discussions. They're in the pipeline. So modular staking portal. This is the restaking part. So restaking is something that we've always had interest ever since it was getting so much adoption with EigenLayer in Ethereum, and we decided to take some time researching and conduct some due diligence on whether restaking is needed in the modular space. So we have spoken to various different parties, whether they're AVSs on EigenLayer, operators on EigenLayer, or upcoming projects in the modular space to see whether restaking is really needed in the modular space. And we came to conclude that there's a clear demand in the modular space for restaking because they have a pain point of bootstrapping their security in the beginning. I'm going to go explain this a little more detail in the next slides. But as you can see in the slide, there are 6 AVSs that we have lined up already. They're Blackwing and Margin, working on the margin trading platform, and Oho Network, their Oracle provider, and DMAX and Tucana, they're the multi-chain DEX protocols, and there's Initia Bridge, which is essentially IBC Bridge that we have solution to allow them to become an AVS on restaking. And also the MilkyWay rollup as well, as we are transitioning to become L2, which is called the Initia in Initia ecosystem. So, operator-centric model is restrictive. I should have titled this as it is not actually the restaking problem. These are the pain points and areas of improvements that I see in the major restaking protocol. So the first point is a one asset dependency. A lot of the projects that we have spoken to in the modular ecosystem, they have a desire to be secure by multiple assets rather than a single asset because they don't want to expose themselves to a single asset. And they also mentioned that they want to include their own asset in the future when their market cap rises high enough. So that's why our design goes for a multi-asset design. We want to allow we want to become the permissionless and the practical staking as possible. And the second point is restakers have no control over their capital. So what does that mean? So if you look at the major restaking protocol, they're all operator-centric model. So restakers restake their assets and they delegate their restaked asset to a single operator. And the operators choose which AVSs they want to opt in. So if you want to opt out a certain AVS, like the bridging protocol, because they have a bad reputation from previous hacks, or you just don't like it, or for some reason you want to opt out, but you don't have any control over your capital because operator has control over, chooses which AVSs they want to opt in. So. And the third point that we observe is there's no slashing options. So we think that there should be multiple ways to, slash a misbehaved operator, rather than just burning their asset. You can also not give them any rewards for a certain period, or you can just jail them for a certain period as well. And the last point is a time inefficiency for operators. So in the operator-centric model, Operators have a lot of responsibilities. They have to conduct due diligence on which AVSs they want to opt in, and they also have to do some marketing and sales for getting as much delegations as possible from investors and restakers. And they also have to read the guideline of AVS, how to run, how to set up, how to build a robust infrastructure. So this is, this gives operator a lot of responsibilities in the model. So we want to change that. So here's our design. We spoke to a lot of the AVSs, operators, and on EigenLayer, and we researched how a restaking, like the modular restaking layer, should evolve in the grand scheme of like the modular vision unfolding. And this is how we came to conclude that the design must be, maximally flexible, versatile, and it should be extensible. So we are using the Cosmos SDK framework, which is very customizable, flexible, and it can support multiple virtual machines as well, and it's also battle tested. So the essence of this all boils down into a single concept called programmable roles, which you can see in the slide that the diagram literally shows. So we have a lot of programmable roles. There's an asset allocation role, which is inside the delegation roles. There are multiple slashing roles as burn, jail, stake as well. So I'm not going to go explain into like every roles here. You feel free to read it through in our documentation. But it's just want to point out that it's very extensible, and the whole philosophy behind our restaking design is to solve the pain points, the actual pain points of AVSs and operators. So the key to we think that the key to success to build a restaking protocol is that AVS, must be, to solve the AVS's actual pain points, and if they win, then our restaking protocol wins. And there are multiple, AVS use cases that we're exploring, and we can have basically anything that requires its own validation services. And Oracle is, one use case that we are having. So the key benefits for Oracle AVSs, they can bootstrap their security from, various different restaked assets. And they can also decentralize their price feeders with operators. So the diagram here in the slide is, as you may know, there can be multiple types of Oracle designs, whether it's push-based or pull-based. But this diagram literally shows the push-based Oracle design, where price feeders proactively post their data to the network or a smart contract. So we can, our restaking design can decentralize their price feeders with operators. And they can also discover potential clients in other AVSs as well. And this is another use case, roll-ups, but I'm specifically referring to L2s in Initia ecosystem. They're called Initia. So for those who are not really familiar with Initia, but I'm sure a lot of you here are already familiar with it because Initia had a big event recently, Inter-Uven Day. So Initia is a network of inter-Uven rollups. They're on a mission to redefine the multi-chain network. So their L2 is called Initia, and we have multiple AVSs lined up already for our restaking protocol. So the key benefits are literally the same, but we can increase redundancy and we can decentralize batch submission process for Minitias. There can be other use cases like bridges, DA providers, virtual machines, cryptographic schemes, and you name it. Anything that requires its own validation services, they can be, our AVSs. Yeah, thank you very much for listening today. Yeah, and we look forward to building and continue to building and evolve our liquid staking and restaking, and bring use cases for the modular ecosystem. Thank you, and let's get in touch.